Okay, so we are back today with another episode of Synovial Marketing Masterclass. We are here today with Taylor Berkowitz, founder and owner of St. John's Moms. She has created a community here in Jacksonville, in the St. John's area, that is amazing for moms in all stages of their journey. So I'm so excited today to get to, jump into that and talk about all the amazing things that they are doing. So thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Yeah,
super excited
yeah,
to be
we're
your first guest.
yeah, it has been a guinea pig, definitely the guinea pig of our show, our first guest. So that's super exciting. We're, learning the software, getting into everything, which is great. Glad to have that. So, for those that don't know, can you tell us a little bit about St. John's Moms and about who you are and
Yes, absolutely. St. John's Moms has really evolved over time. I would say we definitely these days call it St. John's Moms and Women because we don't want to be exclusive at all. We do actually have like a good amount of women who either are not moms or maybe have older kids. So everyone is more than welcome to join us. But St. John's Mom started almost 2 years ago. Will actually be two in October. And I was actually a realtor. I am still a realtor, but St. John's Moms has kind of been more of my full time these days. So I'm an agent at a local brokerage, Slate Real Estate. And Slate has always been very about the community. I really loved that when I joined. I love that feeling. And I had clients that were constantly moving from out of state. The market was crazy at the time. And people were kind of just picking up and moving because A, post COVID, they wanted the Florida lifestyle. And B, they just Googled what are the best schools in Florida because that's all they cared about, most people. And so they would literally, I had multiple people just pick up and move to St. Johns County. They'd buy their house and then they'd be like, okay, well, great. Like, we're here, but we know nothing. So it was kind of like, well, where do I eat? And what pediatrician do we use now? And all of these questions, which I was always so happy to help with, but I found myself kind of texting these lists out all the time. So it got to the point where I saved it in my notes app on my phone. And then I kind of realized there's like moms groups in different areas in Jacksonville or Jack's Beach and different things, but there was nothing in St. John's. So I was like, what if we just made a local guide and spotlighted the local businesses in the area? I was kind of doing that on my personal Instagram as a realtor to begin with, just to show people the area. And so that's how it started. And then I realized, okay, like these women are moving here and they don't know anyone. So we started just kind of doing brunches. Like we hosted a brunch in the very beginning at Ember and Iron. And yeah, that's it kind of started as like a local guide moms get together, but it's turned into so much more, which I'm really proud of.
Yeah, it's grown. I'm Synovial Marketing is a member of the St. John's like women's business group, and I feel like it's grown so much and it's continually growing. Like you were saying, it's now turned from like a St. John's moms to like a St. John's women's or just a women's group where all of these amazing, in my case, business owner women get to come and talk and meet and hang out. So yeah, it's definitely just from what I've seen, it's grown so big. And so that's so awesome to get to hear the backstory and learn about how you've helped everyone, starting from the realtor side of things to really just helping women in general. So
Absolutely.
you're also a mom of three, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that is crazy. I have one and I'm a full-time business person and I don't know, some days I don't make it. I'm not good. So how is that been? I mean, I can only imagine. You're full-time in St. John's Moms now or
I am. I'm still an active agent, so I'll do that if it's like referral based for someone I know or past clients or family and friends. But for the most part, I really am with St. John's Moms full on now. It is definitely a little crazy. My daughter's almost 6, and then
Mm.
my boys are 4.5 and 2.5. And my
Wow.
husband's active duty, so he was deployed for a while. He just got back like a month and a half ago, and we have 3 dogs.
Oh my God, like to add on top of everything. That's amazing. Like I
We
can't
make it
imagine.
work.
I mean, yeah, it takes a
I
lot of
won't say it's not
coordination.
stressful sometimes. I will not lie.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. That is a lot, especially with school schedules. I know my son, he's in like summer camp and, having to work between dropping him off and picking him
Mhm.
up, and you've got three. And so I
Yeah,
definitely commend you
we're
commend
all
you for
just
that.
doing our best, we make it work.
Yes, 100%. You have to, especially in business, and mom life never
Mhm.
stops. So
I think
that,
too, like these days, people really get it. Like if something comes up with a child or whatever, and your kid needs to be picked up and you have to reschedule something. I mean, like even yesterday, that happened with me, where the
mm,
sitter couldn't pick my daughter up, and then she's picked up by 12:15. My son's picked up at 1, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but I just feel like these days, I mean, most people really are so understanding, and we're kind of, for the most part, all in the same boat,
yeah,
which is
yeah, I
nice.
think that understanding, I hope there is more of that. That's kind of why I got into Synovial marketing, was because the place of business that I was at wasn't very understanding of that mom life, single mom life that was very structured, which is understandable, but things happen. And
Of
so
course.
I hope that definitely more businesses start employing that structure of flexibility and understanding and
Mhm.
grace.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. So, one thing that I do want to touch on is the website. So, your website, St. John's Moms, it's resources not only for moms, but it's for women and women in kind of all stages of life.
Yeah, so on the actual website itself, we do have a local guide, which is a lot of like my personal go-to spots. So it's not, I always debated, do I put a list of like places people love throughout St. Johns County, or do I keep it to kind of like my personal? And I kind of just always felt like I need to go with what I know and people I can totally
Hmm.
trust before I refer people out to them. And so there's a local guide on there, but then we also have a tab that says our members. It's under the members tab. And
Hmm.
we have so many incredible businesses on there. It's all of our ladies in business members. We have such an incredible group. And so I feel like almost anything you can think of, we have someone to go to for that. So we definitely refer a lot of people to that tab as well.
Perfect, perfect. So it has like the community places that you would recommend, and then it also has businesses like the business group has like the references for them as well. And so that business membership, is that open to anyone, or is that just like in the St. John's area?
So what we always say, I mean, of course we want everyone to be local, but at the same time, it's like you can be in Mandarin or somewhere close, and technically, yeah, you are Jacksonville. But at the end of the day, you're still local. So what we say is like, a- I would say 99.9% of our events, there may be an exception here and there, are all in St. Johns County. Our networking events that we do monthly, they'll always be in St. Johns County. So it's kind of like if you don't mind driving and you're still local, we're fine with it. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean, it's pretty much open to anyone.
Yeah, I personally, I love the business group. I have so much fun when I'm able to go to the events that they have and the meetups, and I've met so many great people. I actually live in the Orange Park area, but I'm still,
Sweet.
a member and still attend those. So
Yep.
it's really great. So much fun. I've missed a couple, but I want to get back on track with that. They're so
Yeah.
fun. Everyone's so great. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, local's local. Jacksonville is huge, so.
yeah. Yeah,
Ooh.
I feel like it is, yeah, definitely massive. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about, I know, so the foundation of St. John's Moms is based off of like I'm interested myself in the like the financial portion. How does that run off of like donations, or is it bootstrapped? Have you really done this yourself? Or, I know you have events, your events have grown, the community events. Has that played a part in like the financial portion of St. John's Moms? I'm personally interested in that. So
So my husband probably doesn't love me for getting out of real estate.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He's so supportive. But we pretty much I put my own money into it from real estate to start St. John's Moms.
Mhm.
Um, we funded the events for a long time, for a while. I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I'm still this way, but it's a business, so it's like you have to do what you have to do sometimes. But I never wanted to charge. I'm like always that person. I don't want to charge too much, and I feel bad, and I want it to
Yes.
be, I want to get to the place where we can have totally free events all the
Mhm.
time for the public. But yes, we do ticketed events now. I guess it just depends on the event. So if it's just like a child ticket, what we really like to do, let's say for our big vendor events, I always like, for me, I love aesthetic. So I don't want it to just be like a thrown together vendor event. I want it to be pretty and I want people to want to take pictures and
Mhm.
tag us. And I always want to have something fun for the kids because I have little kids and I know I would be more prone to attending events that maybe are shopping the whole time, let's say. If my kid can then go get cotton candy and jump on a bounce house and all of that. But what I've noticed is sometimes you go to these events and it's like, I have three kids, so I'm getting three cotton candies, and then they want face paint, so I have to do three face
Mhm.
paint. And so, what I like to do is instead of like the parent coming and individually paying for all of these things that we know add up to so much, we will typically pay the vendor up front, or sometimes they'll sponsor the service, and we will share that they're a sponsor. Just depends, but we typically keep the children tickets depending on the exact event between $5 and $8, which I mean, one cotton candy alone is typically more than that. But I just love the idea of the parents being able to go shop, support local with our vendor events and not have to say, we're not going to get cotton candy today. We're
Yeah.
not going to get face paint today because I know I do that sometimes.
A
And
100%.
it's just nice to be like an easy, inexpensive family event. But we do have to charge that ticket price. And of course, like any other vendor event, the vendor fee comes into play. So those kind of things help us fund the event itself.
Yeah.
Um, I guess, yeah, so it kind of just depends on the exact event, but typically there's either some kind of vendor fee or ticket price, and we just put that into throwing the event.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that kind of the view on things because we had our first event here, I guess it was about a month ago, and those were things we were thinking about in terms of tickets and, when you're charging per child and then families have like four children or five children and then you're like $90 to come to this event and trying to make sure the value is there and the entertainment is there and things are there. It's like I commend you for that. I did that. We had that event about a month ago and it was a lot. I did not, you
Yeah.
don't understand all of that goes into it and how challenging thinking through all of that is. And I love how a lot of your events are also, you said, you get a lot of support from the community with like sponsorships and vendor sponsoring and things like that. I feel like that's where St. John's Moms, the group itself, has been so amazing because everyone kind of wants to support like the community. You also do like the food drives, like having people bring,
Yes.
canned food items, which I think is great. So yeah, I feel like those events are so special and they've grown so much. I feel like,
Yeah.
it's just getting bigger and bigger, which is a great,
Yeah.
thing for our community.
I absolutely love doing the canned food drive. we typically do that. I don't want to charge adults to come shop, but I think it's a great thing to say, like, hey, as an entry fee, a canned good could cost someone, I don't know, $1. And
Mhm.
typically they'll bring a bag, a little shopping bag full, or even if it's two or three per person, that adds up to be so much. I know with I believe it was the Halloween event, we ended up filling a huge pickup truck, like I don't know what it was, but it was a very large pickup truck. We filled the whole
Yeah.
inside and the back bed with canned goods. And when we brought it to the food pantry, they were in shock. Like, I don't think they'd ever gotten a load that big. And they were just
Yeah.
so thankful. And they were bringing like shopping carts back full. And it was just amazing to see.
Yeah, that's such a good feeling. And like, I love that you've been able to really incorporate that community into these events. And, that was something I never thought about before we had ours was like, you're essentially with tickets and with these types of events and vendor market type things, you're charging people to come and shop. And
Right.
so with that you were able to think about and to put into place something where you're not really charging people to shop, you're helping the community bring a canned food item and come shop, but it's almost like it's a good little sneak in of helping the community and it's making a big impact. So that's
100%. Yeah.
that's really great. So one of the things is that again I'm interested in hearing about is what are some of the biggest challenges you've had with St. John's Moms? I can't imagine from start to where you're at now the things that you've you've had to go through and be flexible and learn. So what are some of those good learning points from this?
I would say I would say we've expanded in what we do. I don't know if that makes sense, but we've expanded so much. Like so our Facebook group is continuously growing, which is amazing. We actually are over 7,000 now. That was
Wow.
like something we just recently hit was 7,000 people in the group. So the group alone is a lot to manage
Mm.
because it's a Facebook group full of women.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. All the
And
Facebook mom groups.
yeah. And I will say, I feel like our group is actually like one of the nicest ones I feel like I've been in, which is amazing. But I don't feel like we have a lot of drama or anything. It's just like those spam posts and buy, sell,
Yeah.
trade, and all of that. So the Facebook group has grown a lot, which we have to keep tabs on. And then we actually added an empty nesters group for moms who have college age kids.
Mm,
Um, we added a single moms group. And so we have that, but then we have a book club and we have play dates and
mm.
we have networking events every single month, the vendor events. So I think it's just like the expansion is incredible. And there's actually so much more that I have in the works. But just kind of, even though I have some volunteer moms like helping, let's say, run the play dates because I can't always be at a play date, but they love that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Or
that's what I was gonna ask is with these different portions of like I feel like there's like so much I didn't even know there was a book club. Like there's so
yes.
many things. Do you have you're having people in the community that are helping with that, you know?
So we have my good friend Kristen DeBacco. She is the owner of Jacksonville Organizer, formerly the Serene Space. Um,
Mm.
she was one of the first, actually, I think the first person I met when I moved to St. John's. She lives in my
Oh, that's
neighborhood.
awesome.
And we met her before we'd even closed on our house. It was just like instant connection. And she used to run networking events where she
Mm.
lived previously, or I believe she ran them or at least helped with that. And so it's kind of her thing where I knew I wanted to do this, but it's not my specialty, let's say.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, like this is something I love to do. It could benefit both of us. It could benefit all of the women who come. So, for
Mhm.
example, she oversees the networking events with me. Tracy does book club for us, and she has always wanted to do a book club. So it was an opportunity where I could help her with it. So she's not doing it alone. We have the community. But overall, she runs it for me, and I kind of just help her with whatever she needs. But she plans like the meetups and all of that. She helps pick the book, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's
So
great. Yeah. So you're able to put the right people in the right places. I think we've talked about that a lot in in our business meetings of making sure that the right people are in the right place. And so being able to find people in the community that want to do this or, I've been interested in having a book club or, that's really that's great. That's awesome
it's
that
kind of a
you're able to have
win-win.
them reach out. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say like the one of the biggest quote unquote struggles would just be like overseeing everything and just being able to keep up and then also having that time like I'm a very creative person, I would say.
Mm,
So I kind of started taking Fridays to be my okay, like what kind of new events do I want to plan and all of these
yes.
fun things where for a while I kind of had so much back end website meeting type stuff happening that I wasn't planning as many pop-up like sip and shops
Yeah.
or I don't know, like local gyms like to have pop-up workouts and different things like that where I just didn't have the time. So I did bring
Yeah.
on a VA and she's amazing. So she helps me with some of the back end stuff now, which is great. It's very new within the last like couple months I brought her on. And I've been able to, we actually have a lot of fun events coming up. So it gave
Oh,
me that.
good. That's my next kind of thing is where is St. John's Moms going? So we've talked kind of about, the different places that they have been and they are. So where are you kind of planning for St. John's Moms to go and to expand to?
That's a little bit of a loaded question, but I will say one of the newest things that I think will be really great for us is we started a new exclusive exclusive local partnership with businesses around St. Johns County. So the
Okay.
goal for that is to be kind of like a mutual win-win for everyone. Um, Basically, we want our paid members to be able to go to a sushi restaurant, to the local children's boutique, to the locally owned Italian restaurant. It could really be anything. Even we have a lawyer, and be able to have an incentive for being a
Hmm.
member. So that could be anything that the business chooses. Anything from 10 or 20% off to maybe a free add-on, whatever the case may be. I think it would be amazing to be able to go out in town and say, yep, I'm a member, and you get that perk. And in turn, you're supporting that local business. Hopefully, you have a great experience with whatever that business is. And in turn, you become a repeat customer. Um, if you have a great experience, you're going and sharing with your friends and family. So the goal is to really get everyone to support local, bring more people into those like family-owned small businesses. And a small perk could go a long way with that, but it feels great for a member to be able to receive. So we actually have a mobile membership card now. It's in everyone's Apple Wallet. I could pull mine up actually.
Yes, I was so excited to see that. I have mine in my little Apple wallet.
So
So,
it's branded. You can't tell, but it's
yay!
pink, and you can go into a good amount of places already, which is so much fun to receive your discounts. And I think it's just like a really great partnership. We have a lot of businesses signing on or already signed on, so we're really excited about that. Um, I would say the next thing we'll be doing. So, my daughter Vivian she'll be 6 in July.
No.
And without going into like great detail of the whole story, because we could be here a long time, she was actually diagnosed with autism when
Oh
my
my
husband
goodness.
was deployed just about like 2 months ago.
Hmm.
So it's new for us. But what I'll say is we had a wonderful, wonderful friend come into our life, kind of just like at the perfect time.
Mm.
Um, the way it happened was just kind of crazy, the backstory, but it was meant to be. And her daughter has autism as well. I didn't previously know anyone. I didn't have any
Mm.
friends or anything that had a child with autism. So I had no resources. And she just truly came into my life at the perfect time. She gave me so many resources that I never would have known about. She referred us to my daughter's OT. And for me, that was just huge because I knew she was going to be a great fit. Um, she raved about her and said, "You need to specifically go to this person." And it kind of eliminated so much research on the right doctor and good reviews and, all of that. And so
Yeah,
I thank her continuously. And I think that's so important. And I'm feeling like I can't be the only one, right, that lives in the area
100%.
and has a child with some sort of unique ability and maybe doesn't have that connection of somebody that could be a friend, like even just for relatability, she totally, everyone, of course, when you tell them, like they get it, but like until you've been through it, you can
Yes.
fully relate. And it's just nice that I can talk to someone like her and she's like, yep, this is what I do in that situation, totally understand. And like, you know, so I
Yeah.
think what we're going to be doing is actually starting something. I don't want to get into too much detail, but just to make moms and women and really parents in general, because we do own St. John's Dads as well,
Oh,
be
yay.
able to have those connections, make those connections, create friendships with parents that can really relate, or even just say, like, hey, who does everyone use for ABA therapy or OT or speech? And, it's like, I have someone, she's incredible, and she's right up the block. Where if I didn't
Yeah.
have this friend come into my life, I probably would have struggled. We just had no idea.
Yeah, so that's looking more like that's so exciting. I'm super excited to hear that. That's looking like a health, kind of like a health group, how you have like the empty nesters and the single moms. Is that looking like different types of health groups or different, or
I
is that
don't
more looking just like a general friend?
I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. We're in talks about a few different ways of doing it, but we definitely want to do something where maybe we can have parents get together and bring in different resources, but make it fun. But I don't
Yeah.
know. Or possibly partner. So Noah's Agape Cafe. They're one of our exclusive local partners. They're incredible. They are fully employed by people with unique abilities. Some are
Mhm.
not teenagers, but some are adults, some are like
Yeah,
younger.
younger.
And it's just incredible what they do there. And so maybe it's like having meetups at their coffee shop to support them, but they have so many resources, or just getting the parents together and being able to share and create that connection.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we're in the works, but I'm really excited for that because I think it's so important. I've definitely prior to the diagnosis, we knew there was something. And,
Mhm.
we had her left out of play dates and different things. And that made me uncomfortable in certain situations and made me kind of like shelter a little bit.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
there are parents that, like, with our members group, we do have infant play dates and toddler play dates, but like maybe there's a mom in our group that feels like her child isn't.
Wouldn't fit in that environment. Like could
Yeah,
if
or
we
like she's worried about being judged or
yeah.
something. Should never be the case. But just bringing together a group where people know they have like full relatability and just like
Mm.
support, I think in some way could be really great.
Yeah, yeah, I think that is absolutely amazing what you've done just overall with the groups and getting those certain groups of people together, kind of having a group for everyone, whether it's business or, in motherhood, we need all the groups. We need the single
Yeah.
moms, we need the empty nesters, because it's just motherhood in general is so hard.
Yeah.
So having that group that you can
Everyone
relate
needs
with,
a friend, no matter the
yes,
age. The empty nesters get together. They go out for tacos and margaritas. They've done painting with a twist together.
that's
Honestly,
so
like
true.
they're probably like one of the most active groups.
Yeah, the most fun.
Yeah,
They're out there living it, living
they
their
are.
best life. Yeah. Well, what has been the most rewarding part of St. John's Moms for you? What has really, what's your favorite part of all of this?
So I would say the most rewarding is definitely when I hear people say like, yeah, we ended up getting so much business from your referrals and
Mhm.
like thanking us because it's not about the thank you, but just knowing that we are truly making those connections and bringing people into these businesses, um, and just having them get that support, or even through the Facebook group. Like, yep, I go to the group for everything. I found my cake girl there and she's incredible. And I found my eyelash girl, whatever it
Mhm.
may be. Just knowing that we're creating the connection is truly like the most rewarding. I would say our ladies in business group too. It's
Yes.
so nice, the monthly networking meetings, just to see what everyone does and what their business is like, I don't know, where it's going. And it's
Yeah,
just
it's that like
collaboration.
relatability for me, like being able to go into a place and know that everyone there has their own business, so everyone knows what it feels like. We're all struggling with the same things, the
Yep.
chaos and the exhaustion, and but you can also talk to them about like, hey, what software are you using, or hey, how are you doing this, or how are you, events or marketing or photos, or there's so many different types of businesses in the business group. So
That's
it's
right.
it's really been an awesome resource for us, and I'm
I'm
sure for
so
a lot of other business owners as well.
Yeah, I would say my favorite part, aside from the connection, I love the events. I love event planning. I love a
Mhm.
good aesthetic. I love a good theme. And so,
Yes.
I would say almost one of our favorite events have been like our Galentine's last year. I know you were
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it was so much fun to plan. It was an awesome like women's night out. It was open to everyone. And we just had so much fun. There was a great DJ, and we had champagne and sushi and desserts. And I don't know, I just think everyone really enjoyed themselves and got dressed
Yes.
up. And we all need that sometimes, you know?
Yes. Yeah, I can personally say every event that y'all have is absolutely on point. It's so amazing. That event, the Galentine's, was so fun, to get dressed up, and me and my friend Erica got to come and hang out with all the other women. So they're always a really great time. It's
Yes, the
always
goal is to be
always
able to
fun.
do them more. But
Yeah.
it definitely takes some time. So I'm working on figuring out how we can get more on the calendar. We do have a sip and shop coming up with Kendra Scott in Town Center. That's in
Great.
August, so that'll be really fun. We have some really fun member events in the works. Um,
Yay.
so I'm excited about that.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I want to have everyone be able to find you. Where can they find you? Your website, social media.
So you can find our Facebook group at St. John's Mom /Women on Facebook. You can find our Instagram at St. John's Moms. And then our website is stjohnsmoms.com, where you can see all of our events listed on there. You can even see all of our past event photos to check that out. And you can learn more about our memberships on the membership tab. We have a social and a ladies in business. So we have something for everyone. And I think it'll be really great, especially with those local discounts.
That sounds great. Well, thank you again for, taking the time to speak with us today. So excited for all of our listeners to get to check out St. John's Moms and the amazing things that y'all are doing for the community.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, of course.
Really appreciate it.